Hi, this is Catherine from Outsource Elite, and today I'm talking with Todd Smith, the Channel Director at Calero. Welcome back. Todd, how are you?
Doing well. Always excited to talk with you, Catherine.
Oh, that's awesome. Always exciting to have you. So we've covered quite a bit, but I want to get a little bit more specific with how well Calero plays well with others. So how does your platform integrate with other systems such as ERPs or financial management systems to really make sure that it's a seamless experience? It's not some clunky kind of thing that they are going to be, kicking their computer or themselves for giving a run at.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we become a one-stop shop for their technology. But within that, we have to make sure that we sync with everything else around them, right? So when you look at some of the large companies out there, they're probably going to have SAP or ADP. They're probably going to have their own HR system that they want to send a file through. They're probably using Entra or Okta as a SSO. Guess what? All of those we integrate with. Most of those are actually clients of ours in terms of a customer base as well, but also they integrate directly to our solutions. If I was to show you kind of twofold, one would be from like a SaaS application perspective. We can bring all of the SaaS applications into the platform. So I can show you all of your SaaS all the way down. Oh, well, Adobe, I might have multiple things. Well, guess what? All of those can be listed as well. And so we're looking at it from all of their SaaS, and I can show the annual spend, the monthly spend across applications. I can break that down to spend within an application. And we're constantly looking to not only show or illustrate what it is, but to make recommendations. These identified savings are what our platform and our team have gone through and said, if we make these changes, we've looked at the contract, we've looked at how you're utilizing the licenses or how your people are, and this is money that you could save with these changes. And we track every dollar they've already saved within the platform. So now I look at these applications and we help identify the owner of those applications within the business, how many licenses versus what they're using. So I might have thousands of licenses in Microsoft, but I might only have a few licenses in some of the other applications that we utilize because maybe it's for finance or it's for procurement or it's for my engineering team. And all of those change. We link every one of those to know, was it sanctioned? What is the next renewal date? I link the contract right here. They can go into and they can see something like a Microsoft and they can see what are their plans and pricing? What are the usage? What does it look like in calls versus meetings that they've had? Because with that data, we're able to make recommendations. Hey, this person should be on an E3 versus an E5. Or man, they're interested in a warehouse. They should be on an F3 license and it would save you X amount. All of that is happening with our platform, and we do it through a series of what we call policies. This policy engine is taking those SaaS applications and saying, hey, do we have levers of someone who has left, but they still have an active license? Or what about overlap? Hey, Catherine is utilizing Teams and RingCentral and Zoom, but all her meetings are on this one platform. Why is she doing the paid version of these others? And so it's that constant visibility, not only to show people who have logged in or not logged in, what their utilization is based on what type of license they should have. And we're not limited. You asked about, well, what do we integrate to, or how seamless is that with so many providers out there? Well, we have the ability to go through and actually integrate to the solution directly. So do I want to go direct to one of these potential SaaS applications? Or do I want to do discovery? Do I want to go harvest the data via their Entra or their Okta or their CrowdStrike directly where we're pulling it in from their SSO? The short answer is it doesn't matter. Our job is to educate the customer, help them identify wastes, solve for shadow IT, ensure that their onboarding and offboarding is exquisite and that they maximize the efficiency and the cost. That's what we're doing to solve for those integrations. And some, they might say, well, we want to do ITSM. Guess what? We have that. We want to connect via the API. Let's do it. We're not limited by the technology. In fact, we're the one that's going to bring all the technology in.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So, do you want to share with us a success story or a case study where Calero has significantly impacted a client's technology and their overall business efficiency?
Oh, we have so many. We have stuff that we've published on Avery Dennison. And when you look at what we've done with Valmont or some of these larger enterprise customers, I'm actually going to share a website, but I'll give you a story because this one I think is so relevant. In today's world, we have so many companies that are going through M&A. They're either acquiring or being acquired. And within that becomes the complexities and the fragmentation that comes with that. Oh, I brought them on, but now they do things different way, or they have this application for UCaaS. We don't use that. Were you canceling all those? Or are you going to use two different platforms? And so we help. We recently brought on a company. They had done 42 acquisitions in recency. And they had people that they had accepted on and went through, and all they wanted was telecom expense management. They just wanted to have visibility into the locations. And we said, makes sense. We're highly recommending SaaS. And they pushed back a little bit, and we brought the SaaS applications in. And within the first interaction that we had with them, we harvested the data. And they thought, we've probably got at least 30 apps out there. And we're like, well, the average, according to Gartner, is about 130 apps. So you think you only have 30? We pulled the data. Not only did we save them thousands of dollars in just the initial review, but they had 243 different applications that they were running. I mean,
Wow.
Imagine that. You have no visibility into those. You're not possibly managing it effectively. That's what we do. But I also want to make sure that your customers and your users have the ability to go and find the information as well. And so what I'll do, Catherine, is I'll share with you real quick, just something that we have within our portfolio, and our marketing team is actually doing a refresh on some of this right now. And it's really cool because what it's setting up is that they can go into just our resource page, and this will go in and show them, do they want to look at success stories like what they have with Valmont? They can click on it. They can search by a solution. Are they looking for SaaS or mobility or technology expense management? Do they want a case study or a solution sheet or white papers? Like, based on what they want to see or your customers want to look at, it's here, and they can just go to this website and go to calero.com and find our resource page, and we publish it out there. Now, we have probably 30 to 40 other case studies that aren't listed on here because we don't want to bombard it, that if they ask, hey, what about this industry or what about this type of customer? It's what we do. So we want to empower your customers to know this is why you want to talk to us. We get it.
Awesome, that's fantastic. And I'll share the link as well. That's super helpful. So if we pivot a little bit and ask about, so the market for technology expense management is super competitive right now. So, you've got some awesome tools, you've got the integration, you can get up and running really quickly, you've got, great transparency, there's definitely a value benefit. But what is the value proposition that sets what you guys do at Calero apart from anybody else that's offering a similar sort of service?
Yeah, there's some great things out there. And the reality is, when people have what we call low governance, or they're not looking at something directly, anything is probably going to help them have that visibility. But do I want anything, or do I want the best? And this is where 25 plus years of experience has set us apart. Not only do we have the UI that you've seen a few times today in terms of it's backed by Power BI, and all of our analytics sit in one platform. It's not a GUI interface. It's not things piecemealed together. It all works. So if I want to see my mobility by a cost center combined with my telecom, combined with my SaaS, I can run it all together because it's all Calero.com. It all sits in the same platform. If I want to start with SaaS and later I want to add telecom, guess what? You're going to add it to the same platform. So that's between the UI and what we do is a top differentiator. But the reality is, as smart as our system is, as much as we do in there, and it's phenomenal, we still have the best people in the industry. And not only are they the best people, but what differentiates us above anybody else is our people. Every single person, almost 1,000 employees at Calero now, is a Calero badged employee. We do not outsource anything. We don't outsource to just a different country or a different area. We have Calero badged employees that sit in different countries, but it is all Calero. So when you talk about security, you talk about why don't we have data breach, you talk about what is the commitment we've made. Is it more expensive? Absolutely. And it's worth every dollar, because that commitment to our support is our commitment to our customers, that they're going to have the best of the best. We're not going to try to save a dollar over here and potentially not have the best experience for the client.
Yeah, that makes sense. So looking ahead then, what trends do you see emerging in this realm, in the technology expense management space, and how are you guys positioning yourself to meet those challenges and opportunities with all those 1,000 people sitting in offices or in certain spaces? Where do you see things going, and how are you going to get in front of them?
I think that the biggest piece that we've seen, if you look at our evolution, what was once just telecom expense management, it was primarily people go into the university, and when they got to school, they wanted to call back and talk to mom and dad years and years ago. Well, guess what? They had to put in a PIN to talk to mom and dad so that the school could charge them for that call. Calero was helping manage that, right? And when you look at the evolution, there is no one more committed to the evolution of technology and understanding that and the nuances with it. It's why we're not limited by a mom and pop shop versus the biggest companies in the world and how they send us the data. And you look at what we've done in the SaaS space. We're the only TEM that is listed even on the Gartner quadrant for SaaS management. Why? Because we're at the forefront when it comes to TEM. We're thinking about it proactively. We know what SaaS waste is. We understood that. And so we invested heavily into the resources to make sure that, look, when you're thinking of expense management, we want to cover all the bases. If it's cloud, we got you. If it's telecom, we got you. If it's SaaS, mobility, all of those. And so we want to be at the leading edge of each of those technologies, because as they evolve, we should be evolving. And that's how it's going to continue to be. So it's not just that you're signing up for the best, it's we are committed to maintaining and keeping ourselves at the top of that.
Yeah. Good answer. So finally then, here's your chance for shameless self-promotion. You have my permission. For companies that are considering Calero but haven't yet made the leap, what advice would you give them, aside from everything that we've seen today? What would you tell them about the potential benefits that they could realize, and why you guys?
Yeah, so probably a twofold answer. First and foremost, you've got to have the foundation being visibility. You've got to know what you have, where you have it, when it's being used, how it's being used, who's using it. And that can't be on Excel. It has to be something that updates, what I like to say, automatically, right? As you're making updates, the technology has to recognize it. Guess what doesn't recognize it? An old sheet, or somebody trying to manage, or someone trying to update. It's not possible. And it's not that they're not good at it. It's not they haven't done it for years. It is physically and impossible to keep up to date on that. So if you're even thinking about what is my next step, well, let me put some things out there. I'm guessing that if we went and looked at your 10K or your annual report, it would have something about cost reduction or efficiencies on there. That's us. That's what we help with. You would also want to have visibility. You want to optimize. I want to, whether it's aggregate my spend, or I want to bring it into the forefront. That's what we do. And so now you're solving for the very company initiatives that you have. We're at the forefront of helping you achieve those. And I'm going to make it really easy. There is zero risk to us, because there is no chance. Have us put in the contract that you're not going to save more money than you spend. Meaning, if I could give you all the visibility in the world, and I could show you all these great things and all these tools, and then tell you, by the way, we're going to give it to you for free, does that make it a little bit more appealing? Then let's do that. Why are we baiting this and acting like it's something we're not? And the final piece that I'll put out here is, one of the biggest challenges that we see is not only the budget, which we just talked about, but is the resources, the lift that it's going to take on, whether that's IT or infrastructure, procurement or finance. We're 95% of the work. All that you're seeing today and the building that out, I need for someone to be allocating and help us get the LOAs and get us the account numbers. And then we're going to go do our magic, and all the dashboards and the reports and the 50 things that we didn't even touch on today are what we're going to go build out on your behalf. And so it's not a heavy lift on your side of the house. We're doing that with you. We become an extension of the customer. We are we're integrated to everything they're doing. We're only successful when they're successful. That's a pretty good partner to have.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's fantastic. So to recap, so you're a business partner, you're going to do all the work and you're not going to cost them any money, and ideally you're going to save them money. So I guess the question is why not, right? What's stopping you?
There you go. And our average savings right now is between 10 and 30%. On SaaS is over 40%. I mean, these are real numbers that they could go to and have that they would be able to maximize.
Wow, that's fantastic. And that's fantastic for someone like me who can help direct them into where those funds would be better allocated to.
Absolutely.
Beautiful partnership. Well, thank you, Todd. I so appreciate your time. Awesome answers. And I'll, like I said, share any information that you've shared with us today. I'll put it on the links below.
Okay. Thanks so much, Catherine. Appreciate you and all
Thanks,
that you
Todd.
do.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for being here.